Hiya, it's Zaya. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about how my July went for HRCYED. So let's start with the progress bar. And I made a little note here because last time I forgot to mark off that we completed the book Netherlands. And when we originally looked at this tracker, I had just gotten back from being gone for 2 weeks. So we're gonna see, hopefully we've made quite a bit of progress. You can see here I have had 12 DNFs. 12, those DNFs don't count for anything, but I am just keeping track of how many books I have DNF so far. So I have 12 DNFs. I've removed 3 books from my Goodreads, which I'll go over those later. I still have 189 books to go for this challenge. The percentage so far, I've completed 13%, and the total books that I have completed at this point would be 29 books. But let's go ahead and see how I've done since our last check-in. And we're just gonna go from prompt to prompt. So I was supposed to read these ones that are in this shade of green. This matches the July color on the tracker. I did not actually finish There's Someone Inside Your House. I had it on Libby as an ebook and then I just never got to it, but I was able to pick it up for my library, so I am going to be reading that one in August. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and change the color back to its original white. The Demon Haunted World, same thing. I did not actually get to that book. Over on the periodic table, I was able to finish Heart of Iron, so we can color that one in. That is our first one done for the periodic table. For familial terms, unfortunately, as I mentioned previously, I got the wrong copy of Elizabeth and Mary. Actually, the good thing is, though, I was able to find it in my library. My library has some of the most weird, obscure titles, but I will be able to read that one for May, so that's really good. For the regional books, I did finish How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia, so we can go ahead and check that one off. For Choose Your Curriculum, it's just called a cookbook. So we're gonna go ahead and check that one off. I also completed that one. Next, over on the HRCYED mashup, I was able to complete the Dam Keeper. It's so adorable. So we'll go ahead and check that one off there. None of the other ones here for the mashup. So we're going to just go ahead and move down. For the animal families, I still have In a Sunburned Country and Bunny to go. For the biomes, today I finished the official Stardew Valley cookbook. So we can go ahead and check that one off. I also finished The Unseen Forest. That one was very interesting. It was not what I was expecting. For Mother Nature, I don't believe we did any there. No, we did not. Okay, for Rainbow Fonts, I did complete The Deepest Blue. I really enjoyed it, and actually I'm going to be adding the second book on to my TBR. The same thing with Drunk Tank Pink. I did enjoy that book as well, so we can go ahead and check that one off. Also, The White City. I did like that book too. We can check that off. Okay, The Golden Line. This was originally a different book, and I did end up having to remove that book. It was called Gold. I didn't realize it was the third in the series because it didn't say anywhere that it was the third book. And so I ended up adding in The Golden Line, and we'll talk about that in just a moment here when we get to that tab. But I did end up finishing The Golden Line. All right. For the numerical titles, and I'll just keep an eye over here as well on the mashup if there are any others there. For the numerical titles, I did have the three body problem. I did complete that one. I listened to it. And actually, if you're interested in the three body problem, they're supposed to be coming out with a new episode or new, what is it called? Not new episode, but I guess new it's not, it already has like its own TV show. What is it called? I I guess new season? Yeah, a new season of of the three body problem sometime this year. I don't know when it's going to be coming out, but if you haven't seen the first one yet, I personally enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun time. We've waited a very long time to get the next one, so I'm hoping it'll be just as good or even better than the first one. All right. I did also listen to your next five moves. I didn't realize that Spotify also has books. And so I was able to listen to two books. They were shorter because they were nonfiction self help books, but I was listening to them over on Spotify. And if you're somebody who listens to books at a faster speed, then you can definitely fit in, if they're shorter, two books into that monthly I guess it's like subscription. So I was able to finish that one. I finished that one and Drunk Tank Pink all on the same day because they were 9 hours, I believe, around that. And so I was able to fit both of them in and then start the beginning of another book. I think I got to chapter 2 of the third book before my time had cut off. All right, Night B. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and remove that one because I ended up DNFing it. Seven Deadly Shadows. I did listen to that story. So we can go ahead and take that off there. 10% Happier. We also finished that one. So we can take that one off here. That was a memoir. All right. I don't see any others over there. For the remix, I didn't even touch it this month. With Malice Toward None, that one is a super long 21-hour audiobook. You want to listen to it at a fast speed because the narrator is talking very slowly. So I did finish that one. Okay, this one for We Are Legion. This was like a happy accident, I guess. I had thought on Kindle Unlimited that because they do have this book on Kindle Unlimited, I thought this one was the same one, but on Hoopla. And so I started listening to it on Hoopla. And then it wasn't until I started filling out the tracker that I was like, wait a second, this is a completely different book, which worked out fine because in the secret prompts, there is a prompt to choose a book that has the exact same title. But I was like, wait a second. I didn't realize until I was filling out the tracker. So I didn't get to that one, which is okay. I was able to read or listen to With Malice Toward None. There were two books that I was going to try to read for the Pocket Monsters. I just didn't get to. I wasn't really feeling romance. I think I was kind of feeling drained from all of the other books. My brain was kind of like mush towards the end here. Live, Love, Lasso. I have started it, but I have not finished it. And then God's Junk Drawer, these are my side quests. I have not started, but I do have it on hold for next month. So Live, Love, Lasso is my alliteration, and then God's Junk Drawer, I'm going to be reading for my teal cover. All right. I'm still keeping an eye over here. There's nothing going on that side. I haven't touched Anthology since last time we spoke. And then It's Your Birthday. I'm waiting till December, so we're not even we're not even going towards that one. Same thing with Second Chances and Hidden Gems, which technically I could go to one of these DNFs if I wanted to, but honestly, they're so fresh in my mind. I don't want to finish them. I don't even want to go near them. When I get to a DNF, some of these books I got to 38%, 54%. I was done. I couldn't go on anymore. I just couldn't do it. There's so many other books that I didn't want to. So for the secret prompts, I kind of filled out this entire thing thinking that I would be able to get to them all. Right here we have that We Are Legion one again because as I mentioned, it's the same title. is just different. In a sense that one is the Bob verse, the other one is an RPG verse. I, I don't know. I don't know anything when it comes to dystopian sci-fi RPG things. I'm clueless to it. And I was thinking, when is Bob coming around? Because I thought this book was about Bob. They never mentioned anybody named Bob. And so I'm thinking, okay, I thought this was like the Bobby verse. Maybe it's in the next book. And then I eventually realized why Bob was never mentioned. I did finish Lightfall Volume 4. I am assuming there will be a Lightfall Volume 5, but this one is the newest one that came out this year. So I did go ahead and complete that one. Spoops, I did complete this one as well. It's super adorable. The artwork is amazing. Absolutely love the artist. Incredible. For this book, this was just an open spot. I did not complete anything there. And then for my Shiritori, I have not finished anything here. I started reading Key Lime Pie Murders, but I'm thinking I'm going to prefer to listen to that as an audio format. Okay, a book within a book, which is Bookception. Nothing there. I haven't even looked at anything to read for that. For the titular counting, I have been failing horribly with the books with one word titles. I have tried 2 separate books and DNF both of them, which is unfortunate, but we will continue again to try next month. I did finish Cynical Theories, so we can go ahead and put that one down there. And I'm still waiting on City of Vicious. I've had that one, I think, on hold for 2 weeks already, so it should be my turn next. It should be my turn. When is it gonna be my turn, people? And then nothing else here. Nothing for cover styles. I didn't even touch that one this round. You can see same thing with characters become the authors. There is nothing that was colored in there. Nothing for the backlist author, but I did finish Unsavory Truths. And that completes all of the books that I finished for the month of July. So we are looking at currently, I have completed 49 books, which puts me at a percentage of 22% complete. And I still need to read 169 books. Now, I did start on June 16th. And that is because I knew I was going to be gone for 2 weeks while I was visiting in Australia. So let's take a look at my bookshelf and let's actually pull it back a bit because we're way up close in there. So this is my bookshelf that I made. And here we have all of the covers for the books that I read in June. They all fit perfectly on this very first row here. And you can see the ratings that I gave the books at the top. And then we have our books for July. So Primates was the very first one that I read for the month of July. I read this one on the plane. It was very easy, nice graphic novel. And The Survivors I actually listened to as an audio option on the plane as well. So I think the last time we spoke, I had just only had mentioned the Big Book of Weird Laws. And that was, I think, a day or two after I had arrived back, because these ones had happened in Australia and I had a few days where I had just returned. Somewhere around here was the last time we talked. So these are all of the titles that I have read and or listened to since the last time we had a check-in. So we're actually going to go through and look and see how I'm doing on my tracker. So this is how the tracker's looking. Don't mind this bookshelf with all of these red question marks. Those are there because that helps me know on Goodreads what shelf it's going to be under. So I have all of these books added in here. I have, if I've added them onto Goodreads, if I've done the review there, where have I got the book from, the formatting, the type of binding the book had, the pages, the audio hours, the series title, the number in the series. I read a lot of standalones. I've noticed that a lot of standalones, not a lot of series. Then we have the authors, and then if there are additional authors. Because the way that my tracker is set up, I only went with one author to define, where they're from, and then the author state. Usually the additional author here is the illustrator, so I just went with the original author or the first name author that appears on Goodreads. If the book is a nonfiction or fiction, non-human characters, core settings, you can see all of that here. So far, let's just move this over. We're going to go into the stats page, but I think the only thing that's not on the stats page that is here is the original language. That We Are Legion book that I had mixed up was originally written in Russian. And I think besides that, Heidi, which we did in June, was originally written in German, and besides that one, The Three Body Problem was originally written in Chinese. So those are the only three original languages besides English. I would really like to get some other languages in there, but so far those are the only three that I've had. Everything else has pretty much only been English. Oh, this says May. That should not say May. That should say July on there. Let's go ahead and change that. And this one should also say July. Okay, now that's fixed. Let's go over to our stats page. So this is a closer up version of that. And I did go ahead and have the labels on here so I don't have to click on it. So far, I have read 28 fiction books and 21 nonfiction. So they're pretty close. They're pretty close. And then for the formatting, that what's winning over here is the novels, and that would be fiction, and textual being nonfiction, so which is mostly like text heavy based. And then 4 graphic novels, 5 picture books, and then 1 comic book, and that was the book The Deviant. The most popular binding so far has been audiobooks. Before, I used to never listen to audiobooks, but with this reading challenge, I'm listening to all the audiobooks. All of them. If I can find it in an audiobook, because it allows me to listen to more and I guess consume more information than I normally would. I'm just consuming as much as I possibly can. But as you can see, I am getting also a lot of ebooks in as well. So 20 ebooks. They're not that much of a difference between the amount of ebooks that I'm reading and the amount of audiobooks. There was 3 hardcovers, 1 board book, which is like a baby book, and then the 1 paperback. Where I've been mostly getting my books from, so 16 of them have been from Hoopla, 13 have been from Libby, 12 from Kindle Unlimited, and then 2 I've owned. I got 2 of them from Spotify, as I had mentioned. The other one that I had started, I'm going to just try to roll that one over into August once my premium account starts back up in August. And then 2 from the library. Because I've been gone for so long, I didn't want to take library books out and then have them at my house because I wasn't able to read them. So only just last week did I start to go and pick up books from the library. For the series status, 34 of the books have been standalones, and just keep in mind that this is the not for just the month of July, this is June and July together. And then 10 of them are series that I just started. So I just started 10 series. I have an up to publication, which is that one for Lightfall. And then I have 4 that I started and then I stopped, which means I started book 1 and then I was like, no, not for me. I don't think so. For the prompts, I have 7 completed for the secret prompts. That has been my most I guess the one I've been reading from the most. And then followed by numerical titles with 6, and then Rainbow of Words 5. I've done 5 of those so far. For the non-human characters, I mostly have been reading books that have animals in them, or various. So this could be like different types of, it can be, when I say various, it means it can fall under multiple categories. So there could be spirits, but there could also be vampires, or there could be fae, and there could also be trolls, and they're kind of like, it's all kind of mixed together. For the intended audience, 32 of the books that I have read were adult, and the next highest category was YA, 6 of those. My most read month so far has been July. I read 33 books in July and 16 in June. For the course setting, my most common course setting has been real world nonfiction, and then that was followed by contemporary books with 12 and 6 fantasy. For the continent setting, 11 of them have been set in North America, followed by, well, it says 5 here. No, they haven't been anywhere else except for Australia for this specific continent. So I'm just going to say it's Australia. I haven't read any other ones from like New Zealand or anywhere else in this specific location. And then for the country setting, the most common has been the US, 9 out of the 49. And 5 have been Australia. See, that's those 5 here. And we've had some other countries, but a lot of the books have been fantasy or really not having a setting at all, or no setting's been mentioned because they're nonfiction. So they're supposed to be for like a broad of people, like a range. For the author info, 26 of those authors have been from the United States. And when it comes to if the author was man, woman, various authors for their genders, 25 books have been from women authors and 22 have been men. And that would count even if if it was a man and a woman author then on there, then I would just put various. Some of them have like the anthologies have lots of authors on there, and I've been trying to check their genders to just make sure that I'm aligning it on my spreadsheet. I haven't read from any authors more than once, so all of the author names are just listed out here. And the way that this tracker's set up, I don't know how to make it so that I can have multiple of the authors on there for the same book. So it's just the first author that's listed on Goodreads. For the most common publisher, it has been independent, but I mean, you can kind of see her that they're not far from the other books. So 10 for independent, 9 for Penguin, 8 HarperCollins, 7 Macmillan, and then 4 have been self-published, and Hachette has had 3, Simon and Schuster 2. But there have been some other, and then I have a question mark for one because I was like, I don't know. I was trying to figure it out and I couldn't figure out who the publisher was for that specific book. The most common publication year has been 2018, followed by 2025, 2024, and 2020. For genres, I have a key genre and then I have a subgenre, and some of them overlap. It just kind of depends on if that's the key genre or it's kind of like a genre that happens not as often, or it's not as prevalent in the book. Fantasy has been the overarching genre in the majority of my books, but you can see here that there have been, kind of, I guess, I don't know how to say it. They're they're kind of evened out here. So at least right now, we're only in the second month, or a month and a half in for me. So we have adventure, cookbook, travel, sci-fi, and psychology and science not far behind. I'm interested to see how this changes. Now, For the subgenres, wildlife, romance, social issues, and culture, I honestly thought romance would be a lot higher because I typically read a lot of romance, but maybe, I don't know, maybe HRCYED is doing its job by getting me outside of my comfort zone. Maybe. So my average rating has been a 2.67, and you might think that's very low, but to be honest, I'm very honest when it comes to the way that I rate the books, and everybody has their own opinions, and that's just how it's been going so far. Some of the books that I rated very low, normally I would have just DNF'd them and not pushed through. I just would have been like, whatever, I'll move on to something that I'm more interested in. But because of this challenge, you're not supposed to DNF books. And as you saw previously, I have been DNFing some of them. I just have not been pushing through them, but it is what it is. For my page count, I have read 5,859 pages, and my audiobook hours so far has been 277. For the average spent, I have only purchased 2 books, and I purchased them in Australia, so I just need to add up what their amount was. And then over here, I'm kind of trying to keep track of the months that not the months, the states that I've already completed. I haven't actually gone through this yet to make sure I haven't crossed any off in a bit, like Florida. You can see that Florida is already done. And then these are from the author. So this is a map just showing where the authors have been from in regards to the United States so far. The majority of them have been from California, but I really would like to get some authors from all of these other states that have been empty so far, because obviously I am getting authors from other countries, as you had seen. So, and we're still in the beginning here. It's okay. My goal is to completely fill out this map as well as this map down here, which looks very pathetic. It looks so sad. This is the core setting, and as I mentioned, this one's harder for me because a lot of my books, their core settings happen to be fantastical. You know, they're not really aligned with any type of location. All right, taking a look at how I'm doing for the side quests. As I mentioned, I'm going to be reading these in August. So nothing happened there, but then I'll also be getting 2 more side quests, and I know that you don't have to do both of them, but I'm choosing to do both. I'm not going to use the points anyways. I know there's a point or reward system, but I'm not going to be using it. I'm just going to use those prompts as a way for me to get more books off of my TBR. But I would definitely be reading both of these in August. And then for choose your party prompt, this is how, maybe we should go to 50. Okay, so one is looking like this so far. And if you see this tealish color, that just means I was meant to read it in that month of July and I didn't complete it. So this is how Choose Your Party is currently looking. All right, we can go ahead and change over Heart of Iron because that one was completed in July. So we only need 4 more books here. For prompt 3, familial terms, nothing was completed here. For regional areas, these ones I've already colored in, so those ones are good. We only need 2 more books there. That one is not doing great. It is not doing great for ratings. For the curriculum, oh no, my computer's thinking. Okay, so for the choose your curriculum, this one was completed. And this is where I was talking about the book is just called a cookbook. So we only need 2 more books here, and you can see we have a pattern also going. We've got a 4, we've got a 3, we've got a 2. Hopefully we won't get a 1 and a 5, but who knows? This has been Choose Your Curriculum, so 2 books left there. For the US states, the only one that we have completed here is the, I don't know why I changed to the color white, is with malice towards none or toward none, and that is for the state of Illinois. And we can go ahead and change that one over because I thought I was reading that one and I definitely was not. And this one actually can be changed over as well. Okay, for bookception, I didn't touch it. For the secret prompts, I was going to do a book. I'll get around to it because it could be any book, but I didn't. I didn't choose any book. So you can see here that I do have one book already kind of pre-loaded. I'm waiting for my Hoopla credits at midnight. They'll become available and then I can read this book. It's called Extra Yarn. So far, these have been all kiddish books with an exception to this We Are Legion one because I had that duplicate title, but I'm loving them so far. They're great. All right. Over on the titular counting. Oh, you know what? I need to change these ones over. My goodness. It's because the colors look so similar, that blue and that green. All right, so those ones are all lining up to match their color. Okay, titular counting. So this is where I was trying to read a book for that one word title, and it needed to be a sci-fi romance according to my dice roll. I was reading Guild because Guild is book 1 for the book Gold. This is a very triggering book. It's a dark romance, but it is, I don't know, it's something else. It's way darker than I wanted. It's very, I don't know. It's just, I would, it is rough. Really, really rough. So nothing is getting colored in here. And I didn't touch fiction to author. All right. Over here, these ones, they're going to lose their color because July is over and I did not get to them. For the mashup, I did try Curse of Vengeance. It was not clicking for me. I was not loving it. This one as well. The way that it was sold to me was completely different than how it was reading, so I DNF'd both of those. This is my HRCYED mashup where I am reading books that, let's see, I think I've colored it in, but maybe I didn't. Okay, I did not. So this one can be the color yellow. So this is the HRCYED mashup where my HRCYED prompt 1 is the A to Z challenge, which is the author's name, and then the book starts with that letter. So I have both, and I mashed it up with HRCYED prompt number 2, which is the last 10 years. So I have the years up here at the top. I don't know how or what I should do to say that I've read them. I guess that. I'll just put it in bold. So this is essentially a 52 book prompt, the way that I'm doing it here. And you can see that there are still a lot of books. Habits of the Household can go. I tried that book and actually I need to put it down in the DNF pile. Throw it down in the DNF pile. That was another one that just was not working for me. All right, and then I'll have to add it to the tracker at the beginning. And you know what? Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it happens. Don't be afraid to not waste your time on a book. Don't be afraid. It's okay. For the title digits, we can color in 3 and 5 because those are now completed. So we have 1 completed, 3, 4, and 5 completed. 7 is also completed. So we can go ahead and, oops, that's not what I wanted. We can also have 7 done, and that one does need its score at the top. So this one's only missing the number 2, 6, 8, and 9, as well as this one, which is any number, and I have 18 there. Oh, this one's slightly cut off on its box. Let's just fix that too while we're here. All right. For rainbow titles, so see, gold was here originally, but it's in gray because I removed it because guild was so triggering that I was like, no. I cannot go through. I can hardly get through this first book. How would I be able to get all the way to the third book? I would end up giving them all 1 stars. I would end up not liking any of them. So what's the point? So we went ahead and removed that book and I added in the golden line, which was also not great. Why did I color it that color? But you know what? I was able to get through it. It was not great, but I got through it. And that's what counts, right? So let's go ahead and color in Drunk Tank Pink and the White City. And this one, we're not actually going to color that one in because I did not get to it. So we still have a few more colors. This one, I believe I can get on Kindle Unlimited, but I still need to read books 1 and 2 before I get to book 3. So we'll see how that goes. All right, for animal families, nothing has changed here. This one, In a Sunburned Country, is actually the book that I started to listen to after I finished Drunk Tank Pink and Your Next 5 Moves. So this one, I'm already on chapter 2. I just need to wait for my Spotify to start up again, and then I can finish that one off. It's kind of a long audiobook. I think it might be the only one I'll be able to listen to on Spotify because it is so long. All right, for landscapes, this one is book 2. So I didn't even have an option, or I don't know where to get book 1, but I did finish The Forest Unseen. So we can go ahead and get that one colored. This Bloodsinger, I thought I was going to be able to get to it, but I just didn't, and it's on Kindle Unlimited. So it's not like I have to wait for it. I can get it at any time. I didn't do anything here with the remix. This one I was waiting because a lot of the books I'm going to be picking up from the library. For the food pyramid, I already did go ahead and color in Unsavory Treats and Billionaire Blend. I couldn't get it from Hoopla because I didn't have any credits left. So, was not able to get that one. For the weather, same thing here. I didn't have any more Hoopla credits left, so I was not able to read any of those. It's Your Birthday. This one we're not going to be doing till December. Backlist authors, same thing. We're going to be waiting. I think I'm going to be, what I'm going to do is just continue a series or just complete a series. I don't know which series yet, so we're just going to leave that one open for now. I was going to do some romance reading and get those ones done, but I just wasn't feeling it after all of those DNFs, romance DNFs. I just kind of needed to take a break. So we'll see about getting a contemporary fiction and a sci-fi romance for August. For the anthology of authors, I haven't touched this one in a bit. I still need another anthology and then 3 more authors to follow. But I mean, it's not doing bad so far. It has 3. For check-in for second chances and hidden gems, I haven't touched this one yet. But yeah, I think these ones will be pretty easy to complete. And how my bingo board is doing. This is my expanded bingo board over here where I get rewards. So that one, obviously nothing's going on there. And as you saw, I haven't completed a single spot. Nothing. 49 books and nothing is completed. But you know what? That's okay. In August, we're going to get a bunch of them done. A bunch. So stay tuned because we are going to be talking about my August TBR coming up next. Bye, friend.